Here we go, it's time for the post-match pint here from Mullins Bar in Glasgow. We're on the roof as usual. I'm joined today by Kenny and Ryan. It's our first on the post-match pint, by the way. Big man's birthday. Happy birthday, 21. How's it feel?
Again? Aye, it feels amazing.
We've just watched Celtic beat Ross County by 3-0. Ryan, we'll start with you. On the face of it, looking at that scoreline, having not watched the game, you'd think that was a pretty routine win for Celtic at home at Ross County, but the story of the game totally different.
Oh aye, massively different. I think it was, again, and I spoke to a couple of boys that sit around about me today, it was just, it looks like very little's changed. Going away for the winter break and coming back, very little's changed. Still a bit turgid in the first half, just struggled, and I think probably down to the fact that we're really struggling at full-back positions now.
Yeah,
we're really struggling. So Bolingoli hadn't come back onto the game because he'd just come back in before winter, before the winter break, and we've now lost Frimpong on the right, and we don't have El Hamid on the right, and then Ayer wasn't in today. So we had four boys there in the defence that hadn't played together, and I think that told a story in the first half. So not only did we not do enough in the final third, we just weren't clinical enough in the final third, we just didn't have any sort of belief in the back four, and a couple of times that we were tested and a better team would have put us to the sword a couple of times in the first half. I think that was the story of the first half, was that we could have been caught out a couple of times.
Kenny, I think it was clear that those guys hadn't played together in that back four. Ross County got in behind us a couple of times early on, first 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I counted 4 times that they had serious chances in the first 30 minutes before we had scored. Hayes, I thought, was overcommitting. Simunovic was overcommitting. And Cham, as much as he can be a brilliant player going forward, and I like Cham, defensively, he's not that reliable. There were people running off him all over the place, and that was causing him to get in behind. So 3-0 may look like a comfortable win. We could have been a couple of goals down before we took the lead. I don't think when Cham's on it, when he's sitting in the number 10 position, it's hard to break the lines if he's not on it. It's hard to feed your wide men. And when we were getting it wide today, the ball's into the box, without Edouard, he just didn't have a presence to bring the ball down, to attack it in there. Griffiths, I think, was a bit shy today. He should have been coming and trying to get into the game more, getting a bit deeper, but it was so stark, obviously, the fact that Eddie wasn't involved.
Yeah, we went back, Ryan, we've obviously seen 2 up top the past 2 outings. Went back to the 4-2-3-1 today. As Kenny says, Griffiths on his own. We're so used to Edouard being that lone striker. He likes to come deep and link the play. It's not really Griffiths' natural game, is it? We also had a lot of crosses in the first half, both for Hayes and for Bauer today, and there's nothing in the box to hit. Okay, Griffiths will get you the odd goal with his head, but it's not his forte,
butter, is it?
So okay, it's a natural formation, but with the personnel that was in, it just didn't seem to click in the first half at all.
No, and time after time, both probably more so Johnny Hayes in the first half, but Bauer putting balls into the box that just went over and above everybody's head. It was almost like we played to put balls into the box without the person in the box that would put the ball away for you, Edouard. So such a strong focal point when he's on the park. He is our number 1 player by far, streets ahead of everybody else on the park today, and everybody else in Scotland. And without him there, it is so obvious that we struggle to hit the heights that we can. And I think when he came on at 60 minutes, it turned the game on its head.
Absolutely.
And it looked far more comfortable for us from 60 to 90. And telling that he got man of the match after being on the park for 30 minutes.
Only been on half an hour. We'll get to Edouard. Kenny, I remember after the Aberdeen game in December talking to you about how the players were dealing with the pressure of playing at Celtic Park in front of 6,000 people when every game is a must win. We're obviously still in that situation at the moment. I thought today in the first half there was a lot of tension in the air when Ross County were getting the chances. The crowd were obviously on edge, and I thought at times in the first half the players didn't seem to relish it. That is going to be that's not going away. That tension is going to be there for the next couple of months at least.
It is, yeah, and I think we can probably count our blessings with that penalty, because it wasn't really a very well crafted move that won us a penalty. It was just a blast. I don't even know if Johnson would have controlled it. He just seemed to, be fouled through error of the defender, and that takes the pressure off.
Yeah.
But I certainly agree, up to that point when they were having chance, if anything, they deserved to be in the lead at that point, which is a bit worrying because we know that we've came through December scrambling odd goal wins.
Yeah.
The complete reverse of what we'd done up until that point, because certainly when El Yunusi was playing and we were firing, we were winning by high margins, and we didn't have these nervy afternoons.
Yeah.
Hopefully when El Yunusi comes back and we get a full squad back, we can start to pull away again in terms of the margin of victory. But look, at the end of the day we got the point, so I don't think we can be too down in the mentality. Where we come away with a reasonable scoreline.
Yep, absolutely, that is all that matters. Ryan, I never seen the penalty, it was up your end. I don't have a good view of it at all. What do you think?
It looked like it came through quick, and where Edouard stayed on his feet on Wednesday when it should have been a clear penalty, Johnson took it and went down, and that's the player Johnson is. He's just nimble and he's quick in his feet,
clever,
and he's very clever, very clever. And I think he did. I think he played for the penalty, whether or not it was proper contact, whatever it was. He's too quick, and if that fools the referee, we take the penalty. I'd like to see it back.
Kenny, do you think we went back to the 4-2-3-1 because of? I mean, Christopher Ayer wasn't in the squad today. I don't know if he's injured. I know he missed the Partick Thistle game. Maybe he's still nursing something. I don't know. But that meant that we didn't have 3 out-and-out centre halves to play the same formation as we did at Rugby Park. Do you think that was maybe why we went back to the 4-2-3-1?
Yeah, I think he was probably forced into it for that reason. I think he would still have had the decision to make to maybe do it even if we did have 3 centre backs, because if we take the Rangers game out of the equation, I think we need to reassess how we play against Rangers. That's clear.
Yeah.
But if you take that game out of the equation, we won 12 games in a row.
Yeah.
Playing 3 in behind, and we've got so much out of Christie. Christie's not been around. I personally think we can't ignore that. I would like to see him try and get back to 3 in behind and go 4-2-3-1. That's where we've had real success all season. It's a bit of an unknown quantity with 3 at the back and Griffiths and Edouard up front.
Yeah.
Is it a time in the club's history to proceed with an unknown quantity? I don't think so. I'd rather take the risk out of it, get Christie back playing, get him to the point where he's scoring up to 17 goals a season as he has been, and obviously Edouard we will come to, but it's night and day when he's involved.
Yeah, Ryan, Christie, I think that's his ban up now. He obviously had that wee surgery after the last game in December as well. Do you expect that to go back to being the regular formation?
I think it absolutely has to. When you look at Cham in the 10 today, and when you look at him whenever he has been in the 10, he just doesn't get the same sort. He doesn't create the same sort of space or move into the pockets like what Christie does. I think Christie's far more athletic in terms of just his movement round about the park than what Cham is.
He's much more of a goal threat.
Aye, and it is. And often I think to myself, I said it today. At one point, Cham had the ball outside the box and the boy next to me said shoot, and I was like, please don't. And he's the one man that I would prefer not to take a shot from outside the 18-yard box.
Even Neil Lennon was caning him for his shooting on Wednesday night.
It's horrendous.
Yeah, that's a bad day when Neil Lennon's.
When Neil Lennon's caning you for shooting, that's a bad day. So I think Christie has to come back into the fold. Christie hasn't been up there when it's counted against Rangers. It's the big games that he does kind of fall away. But he does need to step up there. But I think on the whole, you can't fault him for his performance this season. Arguably the best player that we've had this season in terms of the product that he's given us. So he has to come back into the fold when he's back. If his band's up now and he's ready to come back after his surgery, then we get him back into the team.
Yeah, Kenny, left back today is another one where there's a lot of debate going on. Bolingoli obviously struggled in the derby towards the end of the year there. Taylor started at Partick Thistle, and we've seen Hayes now 2 games in a row. Johnny Hayes seems to divide opinion in terms of the fact he's not a natural left back, and maybe the quality, the end product that you get from him is not the same. What do you think of Hayes at left back, and would you like to see Taylor get a run?
In short, I would like to see Taylor get a run. I think Hayes, he probably gets he's divided opinion because he has performed really well under pressure for Celtic. If you think about out in the Mestalla when we really needed someone, he was brilliant. Games against Rangers where he's been really brave and he's come in and he's a workhorse and he does well and he deserves credit for that. But if you're talking about someone who's going to, we'd like to get to the quarterfinals of the Europa League, you ain't going to cause many problems with Johnny Hayes at left back at that level. That's the level we need to be aspiring to. So on that basis, I'd rather give Taylor a run and see if he can get there. I think mediocre's maybe the wrong word, but he's probably come across as being not quite as at the level. We're used to Kearney bombing up and down there and getting everybody off their feet. We're just not going to have that. We need to accept that. I think on balance, Taylor needs a run because of all the 3 left backs we have, he can defend, and I'd rather my left back could defend.
Aye. What you've done there, Kenny, is just open a can of worms for me, right? Because talking about that Hayes isn't the man for the left back spot if you're looking to progress in Europe and looking to kick on with a wee bit of ambition. I think that almost the Taylor signing maybe reeks a bit of we brought Taylor in. It wasn't the finished article that we were looking for. He wasn't going to fill into a slot that a left back slot with ambition to push on in Europe and become better. I think probably if we were looking at the January transfer window so far and you're looking at somebody to come in and make an impact in the team kicking on for the last part of the season, which we really need this season, we've not done that and we're probably not going to do that. And I think a lot of what we do and decisions that we make sometimes in the transfer market isn't based on bringing someone in who can progress us in Europe and make us a better side, because it's often just about doing enough to see over the line in terms of the Scottish League. If you've got a bit of ambition, then we need to start bringing in players who can cope with the pressure and who can deliver. And I think that's something that we've maybe missed there.
I think at the point at which they signed Taylor, they probably hoped he'd be an understudy for Bolingoli. Bolingoli had only a few games under his belt, erratic games, that being said, and that's probably why we felt we needed to sign him. Bolingoli, with all the goodwill the fans have given him, nothing against him personally, he's been way off the mark for me, Bolingoli. I'd be really nervous about going ahead with Bolingoli. Of all our 11 positions, left back's the weakest.
Aye, we think we've brought 2 left backs in and we've solved that problem, and then we get halfway through the season, it turns out we've still not solved it. And then the same in the right back, but for a different reason, because we've got problems with injuries. Odsonne Edouard, every time he doesn't play, it's the elephant in the room. It's so obvious that we struggle to function as a team without him. He's so important to us. Kenny came into the game and with his first touch he'd put us to nil ahead.
Yeah, I mean, within 2 minutes he's killed the game. Within 5 minutes he's got the whole crowd on their feet because he's scored a brilliant individual goal. Within 7 minutes he's got a lovely layoff which should have made it 4-0 through Mikey Johnson. Within 5 or 6 minutes of his introduction, we've turned a stuffy, depressing game into a brilliant whirlwind show where we should be up 4-0 up had Mikey Johnson any composure. Look, we sold Moussa Dembele for €20 million. It's going to cost you £50 million to take Moussa Dembele out of Lyon today. That's the reality of it. Odsonne Edouard is a better player than Moussa Dembele, in my view. I don't think there's any doubt about it in many facets of his game. When the big guns come calling in the summer, and they will, there's no doubt they will. We've got to throw, if we win this league this season and we're going for 10 in a row, we've got to throw every penny we have in the bank at Odsonne Edouard's contract to say, you stay here for another year, Odsonne, and you get us to there. If there's one route we have to 10 in a row, it's through Odsonne Edouard, and I don't think I'm overstating anything there. He's that good.
No, you've hit the nail on the head there. He's basically too important to us. You see that every time he's not there, we struggle to function without him, as I said. And I'll tell you my one criticism of him, Ryan. I want him to start taking the ball at free kicks and saying, I'm the main man here. He gave Lee Griffiths 2 free kicks on Wednesday night at Kilmarnock after he just scored a lovely opening goal. And as Kenny says, he comes on today, scores 2 goals, lays in Johnson for what should have been a third, so he's nearly contributed 3 goals in the space of 10 minutes, and then Johnson wins a free kick and he lets Johnson take it. I want him to be like, listen, give me the ball, I'm the main man here, I'm in great form, I've just bagged 2 goals in 10 minutes, I'm putting this in the top corner.
Spectacular player, and that is it's probably when you look at how important he is, and Kenny's just hit the nail on the head there, he's that good, and he's too good, because the worry is, how do you replace him after he leaves us? But if you could cast any sort of semblance of can we improve him, it is that I would like to see him hitting, because we've seen him put free kicks in top corners freely and comfortably. We've seen him hit penalties comfortably with severe composure. Apparently he doesn't feel nerves. So the big man would be my first choice for a free kick or a penalty.
Like Kenny, penalties as well. McGregor stepped up to take it today, and I thought surely Griffiths is sick on for this.
Yeah, he looked quite composed though, McGregor. I felt we were in safe hands when he stepped up.
Yep.
Eddie should hit every dead ball. He should hit every penalty. Let's not mess around. He's the main man, and he should. He's such a passive, laid-back big guy. He's hard to figure out his demeanour sometimes. But he should show enough strength to hit every dead ball.
Absolutely. The last thing I want to touch on today, boys, is injuries. It seems like we just can't. If I think back the last 2-3 seasons, at this time of the season, we've always got a spate of injuries. It seems like we can never shake off and get a clean bill of health and get all of the big players fit. I don't know if there's something wrong there, but it just seems like every season we have this recurring theme of injuries to big players at various times of the season.
I think there is something wrong. I think any team can be crippled by injuries over a short period of time. Mm-hmm. It's no exaggeration to say that we've had serious injury problems for 3 years in succession.
Yeah.
7, 8, 9 players out. It's exacerbating trying to keep up with it and trying to handle it. I think they need to I think it's a point we need to take a step back and look at sports science, look at how they're conditioning the players, because it's so damaging in terms of your ability to keep consistency in the team. We've played 3 games since a winter shutdown and we've had to play 3 completely different formations entirely because of injury. That's not good enough. If our rivals were having similar problems, you could maybe say it's the league, it's the conditions of Scotland, get on with it.
Yep.
They don't. It's completely different. Rangers rarely have someone out of their starting 11. If they did have a serious injury spell like Celtic, they wouldn't be able to cope with it because they don't have the depth of squad. Yep. That's not being biased, and Celtic would stretch away, but they just don't come across it. So very, very frustrating, and I think the club need to address it. They need to consider it a big issue.
Ryan, you would think that obviously the sports science team will be of a high level, but this is over the course of 2 managers now, and it seems like, as Kenny said there, Rangers are missing Tavernier just now for 3 or 4 weeks. I can't remember the last time they missed a big player for 3 or 4 or 5 weeks at a time.
And it is, again, Kenny's right. It has to be addressed, because 3 consecutive seasons where you miss some of the biggest players in the squad who can change games and keep a level of momentum going, it's something that we've severely lacked. And if you look at how things are run, I think the problem is that at the moment we're addressing the symptoms on the physio table or in operations and etc. The list's endless of the injuries that we've had over the last 3 seasons. So I think we're treating the symptoms rather than the root cause, and I think it has to be addressed at the root cause, because something's wrong and broken within either conditioning, a sports science perspective, or the training on the training field and how the manager and the coaching staff are running it. Something has to be addressed there.
Yeah, Kenny, we go to St Johnstone on Wednesday night. Do you expect the same formation again?
I would like to, on the basis that Christie's back, so we can swap him in the 10 and we need to get our wide men going again, and I think the only route to doing that is through Christie.
Edouard back in.
Edouard.
Is that even a question?
Yeah, I'll give you that one, Paul. Yeah, we'll bring Edouard back in. You could bring Ayer back in if he's fit and go like what we did at Kilmarnock. I think there's I don't want to overcomplicate things. If you take the Rangers game out of the equation, we need to rethink how we play Rangers. That's clear.
Yep.
But if you take that out of the equation, with 3 in behind the striker, we won 12 games in a row.
Aye.
Let's keep some perspective. Let's not ignore that. It's too risky, I believe, to experiment at this point in the season. Christie back, 3 in behind. That's the way I'd play against St Johnstone.
Absolutely, that'll do us for today. We got over the line in the main, thanks to the top man, Odsonne Edouard. That'll do us for today. Like the video, comment your own thoughts below. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you on Monday night for the build-up to the St Johnstone game. Thank you.